Hi guys, we are live. Yes, we missed you guys. We've been gone for so long.
Mhm.
I would like to welcome everyone to the STEMsation Spotlight. I am your host and CEO and founder of Knowledge and A Enterprises. And I'm going to go solo for a second. I am Nikisha Washington, and I am so grateful for you guys to be here. We are so excited. I have something very new. This is our first talk show. We're doing actually a talk show. So we have two STEMsations joining us tonight. And so let me tell you a little bit about Knowledge and A Enterprises. We are here to encourage and inspire young ladies to have a positive self image. We're using through courage, character, and class, but we also want them to become future leaders. And so we're leading them to become future STEM leaders because we're biased over here in STEM Station land. We want them to join and become part of this wonderful world of STEM. Like I said, it's Nikisha Washington. I have two very special guests. So one of our first guests, as I speak for her, I'm going to add her link to her article. So if you guys have not read Dorothy's article, please, I'm gonna add a link. Please read her article. Also, guys, we want it to be interactive, so we want you guys to interact. Say hi, send us hearts and thumbs up, and ask us questions. So further ado, here is Miss Dorothy. Please say your name and give us a quick introduction.
Hi, everyone. My name is Dorothy Tovar. I am 25 years old and a rising fifth year in a Ph.D. program in microbiology and immunology at Stanford University in California.
Welcome. Wow. I'm telling you, I got some heat tonight. I have some very great to say. All our STEM stations are just awesome. Like just sit here. I'm just at all of them and all their journeys. And so no further ado, we're gonna have Shavonti.
Hello, guys. My name is Shavonti Archer. I am a mechanical engineer from Georgia Southern University. That's where I graduated from with my bachelor's. And I currently work for Florida Power and Light. And I founded my organization called Systematic Motivation to do exactly what Nyla Danae is doing and Nikisha, and to just get more women, more girls, more even anyone in underprivileged areas involved in STEM, and to say, hey, if I can do it, you can do it too.
Awesome. Like I said, we got this heat. So I'm going to bring us all up real quick so you can just see all these beautiful faces, all this melon in here. Hey. Uh, all right. So they kind of gave a quick introduction, but I just want to hear about their journey. So once again, we're going to start with Dorothy, and we're going to hear her journey of what led her to where she's at now. So further ado, let me give you Dorothy and give us the question. Like I said, this is news, so give us a minute. Let me get all my titles together. Okay, introduction, who you are. Okay, we're ready for you.
Okay, so intro, right.
Right, and
So,
it's your whole journey. We know who you are, but like your whole journey.
okay, yeah, I love talking about this. So, as a kid, I was always really interested in science and trying to understand like why the world works the way it does and why things happen the way they do, why people get sick, why some people get better and some people don't. And I just asked my parents so many questions. And I think they, finally got overwhelmed at a certain point and just started giving me books. And I read tons of encyclopedias and like different biology books, fiction, nonfiction, and just got really hooked. And while I was a kid, I actually had the chance to live in Haiti for a year and go to school there.
Wow.
Yeah. It was like the definition of an immersive experience, right? I got to see what it's like to live in a developing country, and I think that's really blessed me for the rest of my life because I definitely learned to put things into perspective being here in America. Um, and one of those things is access to healthcare, and I was really like shocked and appalled to like see people like getting sick and dying of like diseases that pretty much don't exist like in America, and
Right.
just didn't understand why like when someone gets sick they don't just go to the hospital. And also really interested in like why, like what kind of organisms were causing these diseases. And so I think the combination of like my interest in like science and then also followed up with this like kind of equity and access to healthcare really got me interested in neglected tropical diseases and trying to understand like where these microbes come from, why they make people sick, why we don't have good treatments for them, or do we have good treatments and we're just not getting them to the right people? Just all these questions I am still trying to figure out. And all of these like ideas led me to deciding to get a PhD in microbiology so that I could position myself to be able to answer these questions. And then hopefully when I graduate, go on to like start implementing these answers. And so I've just been learning a lot about how to ask good questions, how to develop hypotheses, how to test these hypotheses. And it's been a really exciting experience.
It seems like it. Wow, I'm very impressed. Yes. I actually have a cousin here in Orlando. She's part of the health department, and she has her doctorate in epidemiology, Dr. Trelonda Triplett. And so that's one of her missions as well. And I know she goes over to like different, overseas and helps out over there and does like really like great workshops and stuff for just, about healthcare and stuff that normally the islands don't get that intense, and that, someone that's like trying to really give them the, help that they need and stuff. So I know that's something that she's interested in too. So just to hear your story is awesome. Awesome. Well, great. My mom says hi, ladies. She always, if no one else is says hi. It's three of us, Mom. Look, I'm moving up. Yeah. All right. So that is so interesting. We're going to get back to that because, like I said, we're going to do an interview, like a panel style in 1 second. I'm going to move over to Shavonti to hear her journey to where she's at, because it's so funny that we all have the STEM background, but we have different journeys and different interests. And that's one of the things that we want to do in Knowledge and also systematic motivation is let them know there are so many ways, so many avenues you can go in STEM. It's not just, you don't have to just be a scientist. You don't have to just, be a dentist. It's all these things that you can dream of. So it's really exciting. So Shavonti, it's your time.
Yay. Hey guys. So my journey is, it started back in 10th grade. In 10th grade, I had 2 math classes, and one of my math classes, the professor or the teacher talked about wind and solar farms, and I was like, that sounds kind of cool. And from then I was hooked. I said, I'm going to become an engineer. The video was so cool. Maybe I can do something like that. So applied to Georgia Tech, which I'm from Georgia. Okay. Didn't get accepted. They were like, no, ma'am.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So then the school, Georgia Southern University, had like a partnership with them. You go there for 2 years and then you automatically transfer into Georgia Tech. So I was like, okay, well, that'll be my route. So started Georgia Southern, absolutely loved it. I was involved in Society of Women Engineers. I went to a few meetings with National Society of Black Engineers, and it really kind of started to feel like home. But with any fresh new college student, my parents didn't go to college, my grandparents didn't go to college. So like first generation college student, I was like, oh my gosh, like, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to go into something this hard? Like, I already have no life. Do I really want this to be, forever? I didn't really have like anyone to say, okay, this is the path. These are the steps that you're supposed to take. You knew what you're supposed to do, but like maneuvering and getting there. So long story short, I thought about changing my major, and I met this guy, and he was like, no, you said you wanted to be an engineer, and you're going to be an engineer. And so I graduated and I married him. So, yeah.
Whoa, wait a minute now. Ooh, this is getting juicy. Okay.
Yeah. So became an engineer, and I got a job pretty quickly. About 6 months after I graduated with Florida Power and Light. And it just so happened to be an electrical company who has solar farms, wind turbines, like exactly what I saw myself doing in the 10th grade is exactly where I am today. So that's kind of been my journey as far as engineering goes. And then about I want to say 3, 4 years in, I saw so many kids who looked like me or looked like you ladies, and just didn't feel that they had the resources or didn't have the money to be able to work for Florida Power and Light or be an engineer. And I was like, no, like, who is telling you that? No. So that's where systematic motivation came. I started the organization to just kind of start putting my face out there and my friends' face out there who are doctors, who are engineers, who are
Right.
in every STEM field that you can imagine. And what I tell kids, you may think about a hairstylist. Oh, that's not STEM. Yes, it is. A
Yeah.
hairstylist deals with science. They deal with new technology all the time. So it's so many different areas of STEM that I want them to be involved in and think, hey, I could do that too and make good money doing it.
All
Yes.
right. Well, I'm gonna put it all on camera because I want to say this. That is so great because, like you say, they don't understand. Like I have one of my former students. She's a cosmetic scientist, and I was like, she don't want to do work for Mac. She want to develop her own cosmetic line, and so. Stephanie Richmond Wink, I got to get you on here as well, but she was one of my first STEMsations. Also, Shavonti, I'm going to be contacting you because I just took a position at the school district down here that we're doing renewable energy. So that's all teaching like renewable energy projects. And so I went online, just so off subject, but I went online and I saw what they've done. They've done like a solar power golf cart and put like illuminating lights throughout the school. So I was like, this is what I'm going to be doing. Like, this is going to be so fun. So I'm definitely going to be calling you like, girl, okay, they asked me to do this. I don't understand. I need to do.
Please call me. Yes.
I sure will. Well, we have some ladies that are watching us. You guys don't even know, but her name is Brandy Brown, and she's so dear and near to me. She's probably the one who contacted you first through Instagram that you just didn't know. So she scours Instagram for great STEMsation candidates, and she reached out to them first. And so she's probably one of the first ones to reach out because she reads, and she's like, oh, they'll be great. So let's say hi to Brandy. Hey, Brandy.
Hi, Brandy.
And then there's an Ebony McKenzie online says Shavonti.
Shavonti.
Hi, Ebony. Welcome. All right, so our next question, ladies, is you kind of talked about it, but I want to go even a little more deeper, and Miss Shavonti kind of hit on it. Why do you choose your career? And not even that, who was your inspiration? So whichever one of you want to go first. I know, Shavonti, you've been talking, so Dorothy, you want to go first?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. I want to get, hold on, I'm trying to see I can get you. Okay, let me see. I'm playing with the, okay, just talk. We're just going to be on here all together.
Okay, all right, that's fine. Yeah, so I would say one of my biggest inspirations more later in life was a professor that I had when I was an undergrad at the University of Massachusetts Amherst. And I was a microbiology major there, and got under the mentorship of this person named Dr. Wilmore Webley, who is also a microbiologist, and he's a faculty there and has his own lab. And I took one of his classes, and it was amazing. And then later asked him to join his lab, and I was really excited when he agreed to let me join. And he was the first Black scientist I met in my life, period.
Oh, wow.
And for him to also be like a microbiologist was like mind-blowing to me. And then it turns out that he actually was born and raised in Jamaica and moved here and like, started to do science here. And it was just like so affirming to see someone who looks like me doing the things and doing them really well. And not only was he an amazing scientist, but he really cared about mentorship and outreach and was able to bring that into the work that he did as a faculty. And, that, benefited my life by him mentoring me. And so through that experience, I was really able to appreciate and value the importance of representation and also like outreach and doing things like this and talking to girls and boys too, and just letting them know that we can do this. Like, it's really insidious how not seeing people like you in spaces can make you feel like you don't belong there.
Yes.
Being able to like have a face, have a name, and say like this person like does this kind of science, and it's not weird, and it's not for Black people.
Right. We belong.
Not only do we belong, but we should be here. Like there are questions that like no one else can think of the answer to. Like, your unique experiences and your unique life will allow you to solve problems that other people just can't. And
Yes.
that's what diversity is all about. And so not only can we be here, but we need to be here. Like, it's
Yes.
important that we're here.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome. Yeah.
and yeah, being with Dr. Webley really helped me like resonate that into my heart early on in my career.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
All right, Shavonti. We kind of heard a little about your background, like how you say, no, you gotta do this.
Yeah. But yeah, it really started from that video. I actually wanted to be a teacher, and I was like, I don't know if I want to deal with kids all the time. So, so that's why I did the engineering route instead. But I mean, like I said, not having any family members. I have like a distant cousin, maybe two distant cousins, I think, that are males who are in the engineering field, but not like immediate. So it was kind of like I knew I was going to go to college. I knew I was going to go to school, but it was just kind of making sure that this is what I wanted to do. And once I got there, I mean, my university was so welcoming. Yes, I was the only Black girl at times in classes. Yes, I was the only female at times in classes. Yes, sometimes I was the only Black person in class. But I took that power. Instead of it making me feel small, I was the one answering the questions. I was sitting in
Yes.
class. I was like, no, actually, professor, didn't you say that it was, X, Y, and Z? Whatever the situation was, because I wanted to, instead of it like shrinking me, I wanted for it to become my power. And I think that's what really helped me signify, like, yes, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to make it happen.
That's awesome. And it's so funny, Shavonti, because I went to school for engineering, but then once I
Wow.
started having a family, I was like, oh, I gotta switch over to teaching. So you get the opposite, but it's like, yeah, going to school every day with these kids, I tell you, every day I be like, oh, Lord, I go back
Yes.
to engineering because they try you, they do. But
Keisha, we're definitely going to have to talk after this.
yes, it's something else. Yes. Well, awesome, ladies. And just to clarify, like we were all saying, we even as me being a teacher when I first started there in the district that I left, even when I left, there was still only two of us, two Black secondary science teachers. And so once I left, my friend Sharice, she's still just there. There is not a diversity even in teaching and teaching science. So, and teachers are normally, the first interaction where students get to experience STEM. And see, that's one of the things I want to combat too, is starting early in preschool. Like, hey, they got to start knowing this stuff coming out, because we can't wait to 7th and 8th grade once they finally get a teacher that really likes science. Because elementary schools, they kind of, those teachers, they don't really like science. They don't really teach it or really expose it. So sometimes I'll get students in the 7th grade and they'll be like, I don't know what the scientific method is. And you're like, what? Problem solving, that's all it is. And so that's kind of what I came up with the Character Night with Nova, is to kind of start them off knowing about problem solving and critical thinking skills. But going back to what we're saying is you have to have a mentor, you have to have someone. And that's why I think all of us are here today, to just show that whatever you want, if you want to be a microbiologist, if you want to be an engineer, if you want to be a teacher, you can do it. And there's other people out there like it. You might not sit in your class, you might not see them, but there are people out there, and that's what we're doing with the internet and stuff, just bringing it closer so that they don't feel like I have to hide. Like, if you're really interested in that, go ahead, do that. And so I'm glad that we do have organizations like this. So before we move on to the next question, Aisha Martin says, hi, ladies. So I don't know, okay, hi, Aisha, hi. I have a friend in Aisha too. All right. So our next question is, of course, what do you like most about your career? What do you like most? So think about it a little bit. And then whoever wants to start, go ahead. And if Dorothy, you've been start, so you ready?
Yes, I go. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. So first, I want to say that like being a PhD student is the beginning of my career. So I guess I haven't chosen a career path specifically yet, and I can go into teaching or go into industry similar to you guys and the decisions that you were trying to make. But I think what I like most about where I'm at in my career right now is that I get to be a full-time professional student. Like, that's what I get paid for. That's what I'm expected to do. And it goes back to like my passion of like what got me into science in the first place is I really love learning and problem solving. And so I really love that I get to come in every day and my job is to learn something about a question that I'm really passionate about. And then on top of that, not only do I get to learn about this thing, I get to like actually create new knowledge around it. So I get to find a question that I really care about and I think is really exciting. And I get to design experiments in the lab to like answer these questions, which is amazing. Like, there are things that you try to Google and there's no answer and it's so unsatisfying. So it's really cool to be able to like have the power in my own hands to like find an answer to these questions. I think that's my favorite thing about what I do now.
Oh, wow. We were just talking about wonderful technology. We lost Shavonti for a minute. I'm sure she'll be logging back on, but I'll talk about what I like about teaching.
Okay.
Even though teaching drives me, I mean, like during the year, I'm just like, but now in the summer, I'm sitting here like, I'm kind of ready to go back to school, but, oh, she's back. Okay, great. But it's just that I do get to touch I can take my experiences that I've had in the past and kind of instill them into, especially young hopefuls that are out there, and especially those girls that, I'm kind of near to girls, even though I have some, but I just see that the girls are always shying away from science and math. And I'm like, ladies, you got this, you can do this. So I really like being able to put that spark in girls and kind of say, hey, you can do this. Don't dim your light for anyone. Go out there and do this. If you're interested in this, do that. So I kind of was being a filler for you, Shavonti, since you kind of lost stuff. So it's okay. So what do you like most about your career, like, and especially what you're doing right now? And talk about systematic motivation as well.
Okay, what I like most about my career choice right now is that I'm able to design something and then actually see it come to life. So I can design it, come up with the theory and, okay, this is going to make sense. This is going to, add power to this home or this building, whatever. And then, I go out and the Walmart is lit and everything is working. It's like, I did that. That's pretty cool. And then with systematic, I think you guys touched on this earlier. Sometimes girls will shy away from, wanting to do the science and wanting to do the math stuff. And I asked this one student asked me one time, I was speaking to a school, and he said, as a boy, I have friends that are girls who want to go into engineering, but they're afraid. And he said, what can I do, or what can we do as boys to help them feel more confident? And I was like, oh my God, that's a great question. And I said, the first thing you can do is stop just complimenting them on their looks. Stop just telling them how pretty they are and tell them how smart they are, or how great they answered a question, or, like I said, start complimenting their mental, not just their physical. And he was like, wow, that's a good question. That's a good idea. So I really like that I'm able to have a positive impact with students with systematic. That's like the joy of my life.
I know. Wow, that is awesome. We had some people that joined us. There's a Brandy Mercado, I think. She says, hello, Queens.
Oh, hey, girl.
Hi. And then there's a Brandy Brown, who I talked about earlier. She said she just want to say she loves our natural hairstyles. And hey, Queen. And then there's Deanna Carp. I think she says, you rock.
Hey, Dina.
Yes. But going back, ladies, that you're there, you please ask questions. We want it to be interactive as possible. But I love that you said, too, when I talked about, I'm kind of focusing on the girls, but that's something that I tell my guys, too. Like, encourage your sisters, encourage people that you're close to, because if you're getting an answer, show them, let them know it's okay. Don't try to, like, when a girl answers a question in class, the guys might kind of snicker or be like, don't do that. That's not with their confidence. Like, we want them to be confident. And so that's awesome that you said that. I think so, too. And I know for Nyla, I tell her she's beautiful all the time, but we also tell her she's smart, she's strong, she's confident. You don't need just girls to just hear I'm pretty all the time. Like, that's fine.
Exactly.
But smart. And that's kind of when I came up with the name STEMsation. It's definitely a trailblazer, such as you ladies, in the field of STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. But they're doing it with style and grace. So it's still that they have the feminine side. They're still, rocking the naturals and looking cute and going to boardrooms. And, like I said, when I would go in class, I would have my heels on, my nails. The kids like, you're a scientist? Yes. So I'm sensational, but I'm being me, who I am, but I'm bringing that to it. I'm not leaving my feminine side or I want to dress up side at the door. I can bring all that with me now. And I think we're getting to a day and age that's, not saying it's acceptable, but we're doing it. And so you're going to either have to accept us because you want to know the knowledge that I have. You're going to accept the whole package. And just a little bit off of that, I just seen a judge who had her hair shaved on one side. And people was giving her flack for it. And she was like, look, I am the judge. I run this. I wear. And when she was talking they showed her in her quarters and just talking in front of the courtroom, elegant. But like she said, I'm still bringing me. Why do we have to? We've been locking our true selves away for years. Now we're like, no, our light is shining all our milk. You're going to get light skin, caramel, brown, dark. You're going to get natural weaves. You're going to get whatever. You're going to get us because it's a whole package. And that's what we got to emphasize, the whole package. So just a little sidebar.
Love it.
Yes. So some of the things that we always say we love about our career, of course, there's things that we can change. And so it might have been your journey, or just like you said, when you're in the classroom, or if you're in your workplace, like what are some of the things you would like to change about your career? So Dorothy, of course, since it's, we kind of going in this order, go ahead and start with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the first thing that comes to mind about things that I would like to see change about my career and where I'm at right now is definitely more diversity, like exactly what we're talking about right now, right? And not only more diversity, but again, like more authentic diversity, like feeling like you come to a space and you don't have to like code switch, like, oh, do I have to take my dreads out when I go to an interview? Like, should I wear a straight weave? Should I not speak slang? Like,
we all can feel you on this. We have to stop. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, like it takes up so much mental energy to think about like the way that you show up in a space. And so many other people don't even have to think about it because their culture and the way that they show up is already acceptable. It's already mainstream. So I really would like to see like not only more diversity, but also more like authentic diversity and people feeling comfortable like being themselves and bringing their cultural experiences to the table as well. I have like a laundry list of other things that I would like to
Well, hold on. Let's get to Shavonti and then we'll come back. We'll keep up. Okay.
I agree with everything Dorothy said. Yes. The only thing that I could add was, I guess in my field, I'm in more so the construction line of work too. So having male respect your authority. A lot of times I'm like 4'11" almost, and tiny little thing, and I go in these field meetings with my little baby steel toe boots, and I'm like, no, actually that's gonna go here, and they're like, are you the engineer? And I'm like, yeah I am. But it's like they really think I'm the intern, or I'm like if I bring like an intern with me who is a male, who is 6 foot tall, they'll start talking to him. And I'm like, oh, actually, he's the intern. Yeah, redirect that. So I think it would be definitely getting more respect from males in the industry.
I agree. And then just what you said about the intern, I remember my first time at this district I was in, and I was in the copy machine making copies. Mm-hmm. And they were like, oh, who's your teacher? And I was like, they're like, who the teacher you're making copies for? I'm like, it's me. I'm the teacher. They were like, you teacher? And I said, and I teach science, like, yes. And this was like, it was like 2003, 2004. But even now, because the school district I just left in Orlando, of course, I was one of, it was still a few women of color, but they still get shocked when you see like, man, you teaching science and this, yes. I have a couple of degrees. And I'm like, yeah. Yes.
That's
So,
so awesome.
Dorothy, I know you had some more, and Aisha had a question that actually goes with our next question. So she says, what are some challenges you face being a woman in STEM, especially one of color? We kind of talked about that. And how would you motivate a young girl to pursue a STEM degree career you might be discouraged from, who otherwise might be discouraged from doing so? So, Aisha, those actually our next two questions. So we're gonna kind of just put it all together. So as you're talking, Dorothy, I know you had some more things you wanted to bring up, and then you can talk about how you want to motivate, and we can just add it all together because hey, this is our talk show. Yes.
Yeah, those are great questions. Thank you for submitting them, and obviously they're already in line with what we're going to talk about, so it's perfect, perfect segue. Um, Along the lines of things that I would like to change, it is one of the biggest challenges that we continue to face is something that's called microaggression. And basically, it's when somebody says or does something when they're interacting with you that reveals a bias they have towards you and whatever identity that you identify with. And so a microaggression can be something like what you were saying about someone asking you, like, who is the teacher for this class? And like making the assumption that you're not the science teacher, making the assumption that you're not the engineer, making the assumption that like you must be here for some other reason than the reason you worked hard to get there for. And I've like studied microaggressions and have like led workshops on them at Stanford, and it makes me really angry and also really encourages me to like reach out to other minorities in science and like encourage them and tell them like, no, you belong in this space. Like, yes, people assume that you don't belong here, or people make these small slight comments that like just throw you over the edge at times, but like just keep going, keep pushing. It doesn't matter what the status quo is. It doesn't matter that there are only two Black people in the class. It honestly doesn't matter. And the only reason why it does matter is like, ooh, I lost my laptop. We're back. Sorry.
We're back. Hey.
We're back. Graceful. The only reason why it does matter is for you to change those things, right? And that should, kind of like what Shavonti was saying, put the fire under you, right? Like it is important that I'm here because there aren't so many of us. Yeah, I'll stop there and give Shavonti.
Oh, but you're great. Before we move on, Brandy Brown says, you ladies have so much confidence and I love it. We need more of this. If you got the clapping hand.
Oh, yes.
All right, Shavonti, go ahead.
So I agree, of course, with everything that Dorothy said. Something that my homegirls and I talked about recently was being a woman of color in any kind of professional field, we get so consumed with just being accepted. We get so consumed with like, oh, well, at least I have a job, or, at least I'm not doing, X, Y, and Z, that we forget who we are, or we forget that we either A, deserve more, that we B, should ask for more, and that we C, should go out and get it if we don't feel that it's enough. And sometimes that fear of, okay, I don't want to be the Black girl who's always complaining or angry, or always raising my hand for something. No, we as Black women, we've been told, it's better to be seen than to be heard. But it's a time and a place. And when your voice needs to be heard, we need to start. And I think we're doing a good job so far, but we need to do better with our younger girls being heard the right way, and having confidence with what you're saying, and having, a little bit of education behind, your comeback. But yeah, I think we got to get over, okay, we've been accepted. We got to sit at the table, but now we got to own the room.
Excellent. Yes, and yes, I agree. I think that's awesome. And so the next question, which kind of goes in there, some tips and advice, because there are some girls that may be interested in going further in their career or just getting started. What were some things you would tell them to do?
Yes, that's a great question. I think the tips that I have for young girls interested in science is definitely keep your eyes on your own lane, keep your eyes on the prize. Like,
Oh,
don't
good.
caught up in trying to like compare yourself to other people. You know, some people have parents who are like both have their PhDs and they're like getting an internship in a lab, and you're like, wait, how'd you do that? Like, how do you know how to navigate these things? And it might feel like, you know, people have a head start or people are further ahead than you, and it feels unfair. And honestly it is, but like, don't let that be like a suck of your energy and motivation. Like, just stay focused on like doing you, doing you, and being the best you that you can be. And there is like a lane that is created just for you specifically, and like there will be so much fulfillment and success in that lane. And if you just stay true to what you care about, where your passions are, and what you believe in, and work hard, you will be happy in that lane compared to trying to like match yourself up to other people and what they have going on.
Sounds great. I agree. I agree. How about you, Shavonti?
Something that I wrote down with this question was some tips I have is challenge yourself. We get so comfortable and we get so complacent. Like, with students, it may be, oh, my mom's a vet, so I'm going to be a vet. Or my dad's a barber, so I'm going to be a barber. But if that's your true goal, then yes, you go for that. You be the best barber.
Right.
But if you're doing something that really isn't challenging you anymore, change it. There's no growth in complacency. That's the word. There's no growth there.
Right.
If you see something and it looks challenging, but it's something that you're interested in, go for it. You're going to grow. You're going to learn. You may even learn that you really don't like it anymore, but at least you tried. So that's like my biggest thing. And that's something that I'm trying to learn myself, to continuously challenge myself, get out of my comfort zone, and just, stay focused on the dream.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Thank
And I
you.
just love that you guys talked about being your true self. Like, really knowing what you want, because sometimes, like you say, someone want to be a doctor just because their father was a doctor, and then they go into medicine, and medicine is not something you want to go into and you don't really truly have the heart. It's a lot you're signing up for, and then you get there and then you don't even like patients. It's like,
Right.
that's how I feel like with teachers. You can kind of tell those teachers that they're either been there too long, or they really don't want to be there, and you're like, I think you might want to find something else to do, because you have young minds, or like if you're a doctor, you have people's lives in your hands. Like you can't, and it's okay to say I've changed. Like, there's people changing careers left and right now. And that's what I said I love about nowadays, where you're not stuck. If you want to move somewhere, you go move, you try it out. You don't like it, you move back, go somewhere else, or you go to a career you like, pretty not, don't like it, change it. And there's no stigma behind it no more. At first you used to sound like you were flaky, or, like you this. But no, it's like I'm really trying to find my true happiness, and I can't do that if I, don't know who I am. And so I think what you both said is definitely some great tips and advice for young people out there, and even people that are at the crossroads. Like if you're at a crossroads, why not pick the one that's going to challenge you the most? And sometimes we will pick the easier route because it's safe. It's, like you said, you get complacent, and we definitely want to move forward. We can't move forward if we're staying still. And so it's like, take those baby steps, take those steps. And so, yes. And so we're getting some good comments. I love to read our comments. So who we have, is it LaShanika? LaShanika?
That's my mom.
How you say her name?
Shanika.
Shanika, that's close. She says, I so agree, challenge yourself. And you said that's your mom?
That's my mom.
Hi, Mom. Our moms, and that's actually the next thing we'll talk about. But our moms definitely, support. That's what we're going to talk about, family influence in a minute. Brandy Mikado said, yes, get out of your comfort zone. Brandy Brown says, change is inevitable. We have to learn how to embrace it. Yes, I think that's one of the things. We try to do it, and then we don't embrace it. So we don't go full fledged. As soon as it get uncomfortable, we step back. Okay, look, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it.
Yeah.
Like I was playing. I'm gonna go back. You know, and it's like, no, you're supposed to walk through the fire to get that prize.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. And Deanna, is it Deanna? Deanna
Dina?
Carr? Yeah,
Dina.
yeah, Dana. She says surround yourself with like-minded people and people that will support you. I've learned this. I'm learning it now because you have some people that are like, oh, I don't do that. And you're like, but no, you're supposed to be helping me. You know,
Yes.
girl, that's too hard. That's too hard. You're like, well, yeah, I know, but I need that, you know, that encouragement of people that's been there. And that's what I said. I found some people that are really on the journey and the self-awareness and just getting there and stuff. So it's definitely to surround yourself with like-minded people and have that support.
Yes.
And so this actually runs us to the next question when we talk about support. Your family influence. Who has, like, how has your family influenced you on your journey and how they're supporting you now? So, all right, Dorothy, you're up.
Yes, yeah, I question. My family is like my number one cheerleaders. From the very beginning, they like always encouraged my curiosity and always encouraged me to keep asking questions. It's kind of like we were talking about, like, it's one thing to tell a young girl, like, oh, you're so pretty, oh, you're cute, but it's always like, you're smart. You can do it.
Yes.
Like, you're going to go to Harvard. You're going to be a doctor. You're going to be a lawyer. I remember one conversation I had with my dad and my mom. They were like, my mom wanted me to be a doctor and my dad wanted me to be a lawyer. And so then the conclusion was that I would be both. Now that I'm like in grad school and we were like revisiting, I'm like, nah, y'all just gonna have to be happy with one. But yeah, just like always like believing that I could do it is just been amazing to have. And just like whenever I had like a conference or a sporting event, like my parents are really protective, but like would let me go to overnight conferences, like always like creating space for me to grow and just like letting me go, like just like I was always finding new projects and new programs and just like letting me go off and like satiate my curiosity is just, it's been amazing. And they've also taught me really important like life values, like working hard and loving and treating people well and like developing like strong connections with others and like loving God. Like these things just like have kept me so grounded throughout my life. And now I live across the country from my family and they have just like set me up to do well here as an adult. It doesn't feel yet. But yeah, they just have really set me up to do well. And I'm so grateful for all of the support and lessons that they've taught me and the like.
Well, that's awesome. We have a question, and since you're still on the hot seat, we're going to ask it. But it's a great one. Brandy Mikado says, how do you pick your team of supporters towards pursuing your purpose? Now, that's deep. I like that.
That's good. Brandy's my friend. Thank you, Brandy. Yes, that is a really good question. So here in my program at Stanford, we have this like running joke from something, a quote that was given to us at one of our like welcome dinners when we first got here, and it was about like having a hype crew, and it's kind of bringing your culture, right? Like we understand what a hype crew is. Like when you have like a performer that's gonna come on stage,
well,
like
we both was like in the background, like, yes, I had to share my
like,
yes.
they are getting you ready, they're getting the audience ready, like they're like blow your mind. And so along that same analogy of like you need to have a hype crew for your life. And I feel like the best way, I feel like they find you. Like you don't
That is true.
have to go looking for them. That's the point. Like there are people who just like see you and they see what you're doing in your life and they just vibe with you and they just want to come alongside you and support you in it. And I think maybe what's been more important for me is not how to find them, but how to cultivate them.
Oh, good.
How to keep them hyped so they can hype you. And like a really important thing is keeping everyone in the loop of like all these cool things you're doing, like sharing these like links, telling them when you have exciting like promotions, fellowships, job opportunities, and doing the same for them, right? Like people pour into you, you should also pour back into them. So I feel like the best way to do that is to pour into other people, to hype other people up, because then people are naturally going to want to hype you up, and then you have a squad that's just there for you to, you know, push you through the tough times. And that's so important.
Yes, and it's so funny just thinking about that. It's been people that I met online just like hyping me up. And I was like, man, like I don't even know these people personally. Like I've never seen them, but they're back there like, go girl, when that book coming out? Do that. When is the next event? And they all online. I don't even really know them, but it's like, as you know, just with the power of social media, it's like now I feel like I'm like, happy birthday to their kids, and like, hey, it's like TT, Keisha, and they like, what was that? I mean, girl, that's somebody online, but it's just amazing how, like you say, they will find you. And I think genuine people resonate to genuine people. So when they see what you're doing and you're real, they gravitate towards that because real recognize real. As you know, that's kind of what it is. So that's awesome. Yeah. All right, your turn. And then let me ask you something, Shavonti.
Yes.
There's a Shavonti. Is it Shavonti Archer?
Oh, Shavanya, that's my sister-in-law. And our name.
Wait, those names are very close. Hi.
That's my sister-in-law. Yeah, she lives in the Bahamas.
That's your sister-in-law. Y'all names are that close together.
I know it's your sister.
I know it's her sister. I was like,
yeah, we get that all the time.
I was like, okay. I was like, is she? I thought you were like, in, like typing stuff in. Like, no, that's different.
Yeah.
He says, hey, Shanti, hope you're well. Glad to see you, girl.
Oh.
Let me see. It went away. Wait, it went down. Vonti Shining, this is a great discussion so far. Sorry, I'm late. Hey, better late than never. Yes. And then Brandy says reciprocation of love and support. And then yes, and then I love this. Everybody's like, amen, real recognize real.
Yeah.
All right, that is so funny. I was like, okay, that names are so close.
Yes, so speaking of family influence, Shavanya, my sister-in-law, I mean, that's just proof in the pudding right there. My family and my friends, just like Dorothy said, my biggest cheerleaders. Like I have a high school group of girls we've been best friends 10 years plus. I have another group of girls who we all got together maybe like my freshman year of college. And the support is incredible. I mean, the fact that, you know, sometimes too, your family and your friends will support you or want to support you, but sometimes it may not be something that they're interested in, or it may not be something that they fully get or that they vibe with. But with STEM and with systematic motivation, everybody has vibed with it. Everybody has been like, girl, you should have been doing this. Like, you should have been started this thing. And it's just the love and the encouragement to keep going is just unbelievable. Like, I recently took an engineering exam and I failed it. This is like new to the world. I failed it. I failed my my fundamental of engineering exam, and I was like crushed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the support from my family and my friends and my husband too lifted me up. Like, girl, it wasn't your time. That's okay. You're gonna try it again. You know, and it's just like
hype girl.
You go one step back, but then they push you 5 steps forward, and it's just really amazing. And I don't think I would even be here without the support, without my aunts, my uncles, my grandmothers, my parents, of course. Like, I wouldn't be here. Just like Dorothy said, like the support is like, it's genuine, and when it's genuine, you both are going to succeed.
Yes,
everybody's going to succeed.
I love it, ladies. Yes, and I love it. We got a new term, our hype crew. I'm like, who part of my hype crew? We're gonna be shout outs. I need my hype crew to represent. Yeah. That is awesome. And I love what you did say, Shavonti, about it's okay. And we have to realize that it's okay to fail sometimes.
Yes.
And you learn through it. So you know what to study for next time. And then, like you say, it might not have been the right time.
Right.
And you never know. And so sometimes we have to be okay with doors shutting or windows closing and all that, all those metaphors that they put out there, and learn this in your time. And that's something I had to learn because, just with Knowledge and Enterprises and writing a book and doing stuff, I want success right now.
Yes.
And I'm like, so I get so discouraged when stuff doesn't happen, or like I got this book out and like, well, where are the sales? It's like, so I'm learning to be patient and take it one step at a time and just know that this might be preparing me so when it does hit,
exactly.
Because sometimes we think we're prepared and we're not prepared, because just think, you pass that test, that might put you on another trajectory that maybe God don't want you to go there right now.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Like he's like, hold on, I got something better, or I'm not ready for you to do that yet. You still got to do stuff at this level.
Exactly.
So we don't ever think about that. So, yes.
So true.
So you ladies are just, I love this. I love the interaction between all three. I love the new talk show panel. I want to ask you guys, so we're getting close to the end, which I'm getting sad. But what are your future goals? Because, you know, we've heard up to this far. I know you have major goals that you can see yourself 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20. What are your future goals? And then also we'll combine it with if there's a way that you want to give back. So we'll add them kind of together like as you're talking. So, all right, Dorothy.
Okay, this question. I'm like getting towards the end of my program, so I'm getting asked more and more like, so what are you gonna do?
Right, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I'm definitely still exploring like all of the options available to me. I think because I am in academia right now, the like next most direct step is to like continue and try to be a professor and start my own lab.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Awesome.
I don't know yet.
Okay, well, everybody's a future goal.
You guys hyped me up already.
We're the right crew. Part of it.
You guys, I appreciate it so much. So I'm doing right now, I'm in this fellowship program. That's intention is to increase diversity in academia, and I'm really excited to like start to learn more about like what it looks like to be a professor at different institutions. Like, some professors do mostly teaching and other professors do mostly research. So right now I'm trying to figure out like, okay, do I want to go into academia or do I want to go into industry and do some biotech stuff? And what's really great about grad school is that it's a really great place for you to like just pick and choose and like sample different things and figure out before you commit to an actual job what you want to do. And so I've been like super non-committal because I don't want to like limit myself and just like and then be afraid of change later. Like, no, I said I was gonna be a professor, so I can't do this other thing because that's not what it means to be a professor. So I've been trying like science policy stuff. I'm really excited about that. I really care a lot about outreach and institutional change. So to answer your second question about like what I hope like my impact will be and what kind of outreach I like to do. Here at Stanford, I helped start a student group called the Stanford Black Bioscience Organization, whose mission is very similar to what, we're talking about here of just like supporting students of color in the biosciences who are PhD students, empowering them, telling them they belong, giving them a space to get together. It kind of started around the time that there were, it's consistent, but there were just so much coverage of like deaths of Black and brown people in the news, and just like having a space for us to be together and like comfort each other is really hard in the sciences and professionally too, just like bringing yourself into space. And so I really care a lot about creating spaces for people of color in the sciences to like deal with for each other in all of the challenges that we experience in doing what we do, and then also uplifting each other. And so I'm really excited to continue that down the road through mentorship. You guys are such an inspiration in terms of like the organizations that you've started, and would totally love to talk more offline about how to get something like that going here. Like, I would absolutely love that. Just trying to reach as many people as possible and using my story to like encourage people that they can do this. Like, there's nothing that remarkably special about me except that I trusted God and I went and I did it, and you can do it too. So yeah.
Awesome. Let me hide this real quick. Bring us all back. All right. Before we get to you, Shavonti, that was some awesome tips that you said, Dorothy. And take your time. It's not. It's like, it's not a race. It's your race, and so it's your life. What you feel comfortable doing. And so I even had to tell my son, I have it's so funny. We have grown kids and we have a 4-year-old. That's a whole nother day. But But my youngest son, he just graduated college, and so he started his master's because his girlfriend is going to be a nurse. And I said, well, she's going to still be in school. You don't quite know what you want to do. Go ahead and go back to school while you're already in there in the school mind, and then take your time to figure out what you want to do. You guys have lifetime to be whatever career you're going to be in forever. Yeah. So don't be in a rush. Take your time. Do what feels best for you. It's your journey, and that's what we need to hear. We have a lot of good comments, so let me go back. I love it tonight. Oh, we haven't been on them in a while, so I'm loving it. All right, so Cindy Renee says, hi, Shavonti from Stepmom and Dad. We're so proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
Then Brandy Mercado says, there's room for everyone to win.
Yes.
Then Dina says, that's a freaking hard exam. Obviously, it has to be super hard if my didn't pass. So I believe the exam is rigged then, because
I think so too.
Then because I'm hype crew, part of hype crew. It's no wrong with the exam. Then Brandy says, growth mindset, not fixed. Love it. Mindset growth. I love it. Yeah. And then LaShanika, your mom, said, this is a great discussion, ladies. And then she said, you ladies absolutely rock. Thank you, Mom. Thank you. Mom. Sister-in-law with the same name is just really freaking me out. But Shavonti, yes, wow, I'm so inspired. I can't wait to tune into another live discussion such as this. Thank you, girl. Thank you. Yes. Also, you guys that just came in too at the beginning of this, and I'll read their article. If you have not went online to read their articles, you guys have to read and leave comments there too, because their articles are phenomenal too, where it's in print of what they're talking about and how you can follow them and reach out to them as well. So love it, love it. Giving back is the best way to say thank you for your success. Thank you, Dina. Yes, yes. Aisha said, I'm so proud of you all, my sisters in STEM. Keep up the good work. Oh, everybody's giving us so much love. I love it. I love it. All right, Shavonti, now tell us your future goals, and then we'll talk about giving back.
Okay, so I wrote a list. I like when I get this question because it allows me to reflect back, because some goals may have changed, some goals may have been, scratched off the list. So something that Dina, who's also involved right now, she started a scholarship fund for women who want to become engineers, and like seeing her do that, it was like, wow, like maybe I can do that too. So definitely a scholarship fund is in the horizon for students, maybe, their first year in or their sophomore year, something just to help towards college, because that is expensive, as we all know.
Yes.
My dream or my goal for 2020 is to have like my first week-long summer STEM camp in either Atlanta or Orlando. I don't know.
See, that's mine too. So we definitely have to get
We gotta talk. Yes. That's in the works. Of course, obtain my professional engineering license. That's like, I'm looking at it and I'm like, are you coming for me or am I coming for you? I don't know yet.
You're gonna get it. You're gonna get it.
The last thing I would say is definitely start my family soon. My husband and I have been married going on 6 years, and so we are hoping to start our family soon as well.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I did add both ladies' articles down there. Please, guys, in the comment section, please, when we get off, share this broadcast as much as you can. Share with everyone. We will do replays. But it's just been awesome, and I love you guys' future goals, because I mean, like you said, it's our lane is your journey, but we all see that we all have similar interests and how we can help each other and stuff. And that's what this is about. It's about bringing, so we don't seem like we're on an island anymore. Exactly. We got all these resources and we can all bring them together and stuff. And we see we have a ton of support. We got 80 comments right now. Like, we have definitely a lot of support out there for this. Shavonti, I did want to ask you, with your systematic motivation program, what ages do you start with?
Everywhere. I start from kindergarten all the way up to seniors. Haven't really gotten to the college level yet, but a lot of my YouTube videos for parents and for teachers is really geared toward like elementary school and middle school. Not as complicated as high school just yet, but
Right,
definitely,
right.
definitely that age group, like middle school for sure, and elementary school, because I feel like with where technology is going, all these kids are like on their phones, or,
Right.
app development is something that I want to get into as well with systematic, because I mean, the kids, they're always on their tablets,
Yeah.
whether it's educational or whether it's, just for fun and games. It's like we got to start thinking that that's where it's going. So I want to stay ahead of the curve.
Yes, also I believe, and that's what I said. Right now with Nyla Danae, we do have our STEM superhero Nyla Nova, and so I'm gonna do a shameless plug real quick.
Really, girl.
Well, we got everybody on here. Let's we have Who is Nyla Nova, and so it's based on my daughter Nyla Danae. This is Nyla. Okay, I got it because I'm backwards. Okay, Nyla Danae, and this is her everyday life as she's going by her business. But then she found out she has a true identity as a STEM superhero, Nyla Nova. And so what we're doing with Nyla Nova is for preschool, kindergarten, first grade-ish, but it's actually a story of how she developed her superpowers. And so you can find this at nyladanae.com, but I just wanted to say, like what Shavonti was saying, is that we got to get our kids back into reading. It's okay to read books, hard books. And then one thing, I'm being biased, but we put in images that show little brown girls and their father comforting them. Like we need to show this here. And then we're showing, and part of the story shows, I'm just talking about the natural hair, is that as she's talking and finding out her natural identity, her ponytail kind of changed into her natural hair. So she develops her afro.
Oh, that's so cute.
She develops her little afro and gets her crown. And so it's like, it's just a different version of her. And just let her know, that it's okay to rock your natural hair. And, in the first when she first started wearing it, she was like, Mommy, I don't look cute. I said, yes, you do. And then, she's getting all the comments now. Mm-hmm. And now that's bringing the confidence, because sometimes, like, before I got my hair retwisted, I had to wear my natural hair, and it's okay. She's like, it's so pretty. I'm like, your hair is pretty too. Yeah. So it's just to say that, they have the internet, they have apps, but it's also okay to show them stories like this. And it's so funny. We went to her preschool and we read the book to her friends, and they were Caucasian, Chinese. They all loved it. And it talks about her going on the mission and asked them to join in the mission. One little boy, he started crying. And we were like, why are you crying? I'm not ready to go. He thought we were actually going into space, because it's like when she turns into it, it's like it's space. And he started crying, and we're like, I said, oh my God, no, it's a pretend mission. You're coloring her picture. Yeah. It's that mission, So it's just been a whirlwind. And so just to say, guys, nyladanae.com, who is Nyla Nova, and we talked about Orlando. If you're in the local Orlando area, July 20th, we're having a book release signing party where it's going to be the authors and the illustrator. And just say our illustrator, she's from Tampa, woman of color, and she's going to be a doctor. So it's like, I'm keeping this thing in-house. Like, we're going to keep promoting STEM, and why not have the illustrator be part of it? She's about STEAM because, she has the art and part of it. And I was like, oh, yeah, we're doing all that. Yes. Yeah, so we just love that everyone was here to witness this. This was our very first talk show where we had multiple people on. And I loved it because you got to hear everybody's story and perspective and realize we all have the same journey. We're, like the same outcome. Like, we all want to be successful. We all learning that we have to be our true selves, and we're all learning to stay in our own lane. And sometimes I'm even guilty of looking over to somebody else's lane, like they're further ahead of me. Mm-hmm. What am I doing? No. And I'm like, okay, it's your lane. Follow your lane and your path and so it's hard because we're human. Mm-hmm. And you're like, but they started after me, or they switched and I should have switched it. Nope, it's your lane. So yes. I am thankful for everyone. The last comments before we end, we got hearts. Nyla Danae, you are inspiring. Thank you. Somebody said, still love Gizmo though. Yes. What you saying? Dina, you are funny. STEM summer camp scholarships too, in honor of my friend LD. Yes, we love it. I love this. Let me know how can I be a part of this. Love it. Now that you're inspiring, love this, love this. Absolutely. Representation matters. Cute. This book will also teach young girls to accept who they are and how they look. Yes, Black excellence. So true. Yes, Steen. Yes, that's true. I love it. I love it. I love it. So if anyone have some lasting remarks before we leave, anyone you want to thank or that you didn't thank already, please join in before we have to say goodbye. I'm getting sad. This was wonderful.
Yes, I definitely want to thank, I want to give a shout out and give credit for the hype crew quote to Anika Green here at Stanford. Thank you for teaching us about hype crews. We really appreciate it. And I want to thank obviously my family, my friends, everyone who supported me. Really thankful to God. I'm clearly a Christian, and that's
we are, yes.
yeah, so everything, all of this wouldn't be possible without my faith. And so yeah, that's and thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you guys. You guys have made my evening. This has been wonderful. So thank you. Thank you.
Yes, same as well. Thank you so much, Nikisha. This was absolutely needed. This was, I'm so glad I got to meet Dorothy.
Yes.
The cheer squad, my family and my friends, as you guys can see, they are very vocal. They are very supportive. And it just makes me, it just confirms that I'm on the path that God has definitely led me down.
Oh, someone said your mom said we should do a tour and she'll help promote it. Yes. That sounds great. We're gonna do our
she's in media, so that's like her thing.
Oh, well, definitely. We definitely have to stay in touch. We definitely have to make this happen. I feel it. I feel it. Yes. Well, we want to thank we thank our guests for being here because, giving up a Sunday evening and we had to reschedule it and all that. But it was, like I said, everything happens for a reason. Today, I think it was awesome. So I think our energy was up. We had the best time ever. We had a lot of people tune in. We still have viewers. We have over 100 comments. Oh my God, I love it. I love it. And then once it gets shared out even more and more, we'll have more comments. But I just want to thank you guys, Dorothy and Shavonti. Thank you guys for doing what you're doing and paving the way, being STEMsations, trailblazers, because you guys are doing it. And it's so awesome. I want to thank all the people that have following us, that have watched us this night, giving up an hour of your time. This is the longest one we had because we had 2 people, and so I just love that what this is doing. We're growing, and we're spotlighting those people that are here, and we just want to thank you guys for all the support. Keep supporting. If you go to those 2 websites, there are 2 articles. They have ways you can follow them, email them, support them. Also myself, where you can find the book, how you get in contact, and we're always looking for new STEMsations. So if you know of any, just contact us. We'll send a questionnaire out, just like we did with these ladies, and get you guys on our blog, get you guys in front of the camera. We need more representation. So please, just let us know. Give us a shout out. Thanks to our hype crew out there, everyone. Thank you so much. Yes. Well, we're going to tune out. We want to just thank everyone. Everyone have a wonderful and blessed week.
Yes.
It's awesome. Just, keep shining. We're not letting our light dim. This is STEMsation Spotlight, and that light is going to continue to shine on wherever we go. So thank you guys. Thank you,
Keisha.
Thank you. Ladies, you stay on. I'm going to end it, but you stay on.
Okay.
Thank you, guys. Love it, you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Once again, knowledgeandnay.com. Also, Systematic Motivation. Guys, we're going to have all that information out there for you. Thank you for our hype crews out there. Thank you for our family. Thank you guys for supporting. Please share this out. Share, so more people can see it and be blessed as we've been blessed. Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a great week. Yes.